Hey everyone, this is Brita from the Firehose project. Thank you so much for joining today. So I'm a student advisor here at the Firehose project and really excited to chat with you today about our program. So we offer a full stack web developer bootcamp. A lot of you have already joined our free bootcamp prep course. So you've gotten a sense for kind of a little bit maybe how we teach, some of the support that you start to get really early on. And we're going to dive into that a little bit more and discuss the full program, the curriculum, our job prep, the support that you get throughout the program, the projects that you work on, and focus a little bit more on our teaching style as well as kind of some outcomes and what you can kind of expect to learn in our course. And we'll also discuss some of our really cool offers and opportunities that we have right now. So for some of our advanced curriculum. So hang with me until the end of the info session and we'll be diving into that as well. So we'll start right off the bat and kind of dive into our info session today. So let's get the ball rolling. So we are the Firehose project. It's a little bit about us to start off. We actually started off in Boston, and we were teaching in-person code and boot camps. And so we learned a lot really quickly from teaching in person, which means that we had a really quick feedback loop and we're able to take all of those learnings on how students learn best, how to explain content and really provide the right information at the right time and translate that into an online course. And so there are a lot of benefits of having an online course. We found that it really provides actually a more individualized experience. So if you think of a traditional learning environment where students are sitting in a classroom and have an instructor, teaching a kind of one-to-many model, you're really held at the pace of the classroom. And that means that you're not being able to kind of move at your own pace through the curriculum, spend more time on things that are confusing, and often you're getting less support. So you're kind of only able to get the support of the instructor that's in the classroom. So we make sure that we build in a lot of support and we have kind of a coordinated multi-level approach to all of the support in our course. So we moved our course to an online full stack web developer bootcamp, and we are now currently headquartered in foggy San Francisco. So if you're joining us today, you're probably thinking about becoming a developer and exploring that option either as a career change or possibly to build out your own project. And so we'll talk a little bit about what that looks like. I think that's where a lot of students kind of need to start as they're exploring this new journey. So one of the main reasons to work as a developer is the job demand is huge. So if you're already exploring this, you probably have started to think that you maybe want a career change or you have an idea for a project or a business that you want to start. And you enjoy, often developers enjoy problem solving and logic, and they are really looking for creative ways to address opportunities and problems with code. So if that's something you enjoy, you're in luck because there is a huge job demand for skilled talent. And in fact, there are going to be 1 million more jobs than students by year 2020. And so we get that from the US Bureau of Labor Statistics. And you can see here, there's a huge deficit in the amount of computer science students in relation to computer programming jobs. And so that space is what we're looking to fill as we train up our students at a professional level to become full stack web developers. And so going into kind of what that means, web developers create web apps. So if you think of when the internet was kind of just beginning, basically what it did was it hosted documents online. You could go online and view a document. You couldn't do much with it. You could basically read it and, it hosted it on the internet. Now we all know the internet is much more interactive. You can as a user, you can input commands and click things and view more information. You can also change what happens on a web page. So if you think of a web app like Yelp, you can leave a comment or a star rating. And as a user, you can go on and input data, your comment, into the app. So web developers create those type of interactive websites and experiences that we use every day. So just as consumers and individuals, we're using them every day. And then they're also used across a number of industries. And that's why web development, the demand for those jobs is so huge, because it's not just kind of high-tech companies, but it's really across every single industry all over the country and the world. So some examples are, as I mentioned, Yelp is a great example. We all have probably used Yelp at one point or another, or at least familiar with it. And you can go in, you can set filters, you can zoom in on the map, you can click around, and you can comment. More examples are all of the kind of Google suite of products. So like Gmail, Google Sheets, Google Pages, Docs, all of those are a web app. Airbnb is a great example. You can upload comments. Hosts can upload photos, leave comments on guests, as well as other apps for transportation and travel. So as you can see, this spans a number of industries. So we see web development in transportation, so the way that we hail taxis or book flights or book a hotel, R&D, healthcare. So whether it's the actual software that's used internally or having a patient portal online is really common now. All of that requires web developers. Similarly with retail, more and more shifting to online and subscription-based models, finance, agriculture, government. These are all sectors that we don't necessarily think of as being particularly high tech when we think of, Silicon Valley and web developers. But web development roles exist in all of these sectors and more across the world. So here are a couple of examples that we all kind of know, whether it's traveling, going to the doctor and getting, imaging that requires more high-tech software, autonomous cars, Tesla, that's all software driven, or just simply ordering a pizza online and being able to customize it and watch it be delivered to your house. So kind of diving into some of the most important or the most common questions that we get, just to address those right off the bat. How long is the Firehose program and how much does it cost? So for our program, we are confident that we provide the most value in a flexible, competitively priced full stack web development program. And so we'll dive into a little bit of what that means and the value that we really provide for our students, both with your learning experience and the support, job preparation. So it starts off with our free bootcamp prep course. And as I mentioned, if you haven't signed up for this, definitely head over to our site and sign up. It's the best way to start practicing your skills and getting a feel for our course. And it also does act as our admissions process as well. So you'll learn some HTML, CSS, and you'll start coding in Ruby right away. And then you'll have some challenges that you'll submit. And once we give you the thumbs up on all those challenges, we can officially accept you into our full program. Our full program has two options for pacing. So we have a moderate pace course, which is 42 weeks, and the accelerated pace course, which is 22 weeks. So for those of you thinking about this kind of in a longer term, that's about 10.5 months and 5.5 months, respectively. So in the moderate pace course, students spend about 12 to 15 hours per week coding. And in the accelerated pace course, students spend about 25 to 35 hours per week coding. That being said, you can put those hours in whenever it works for you and code on your own schedule. So basically, anywhere that you have a Wi-Fi connection and a machine, you can be participating in our course. So we have students from all different backgrounds that are going through our program in both course paces. So that means students that have full-time jobs, family, travel, hobbies, all of those types of things are able to really take their passion for coding and make it happen. It definitely requires a lot of self-discipline and dedication, but if it's something you're passionate about, we give you all the tools to pursue that. So in terms of tuition, the moderate course starts at $8,500 and the accelerated pace course starts at $6,500. We do have several payment plan options available. So we have a monthly payment plan where you can break up the cost of the course over several months. We also have financing options available. So we partner with Climb Credit to offer student financing for tuition, and so that's a great option if you're looking to have a really low monthly payment over a longer period of time. One thing to note is that we only have the financing available in the US. So if you're outside of the US, you're always able to speak with your bank to look at a personal or an education loan or find other outside financing opportunities. We just don't partner directly. So we do promise you the most value for your time, money, and commitment throughout our course. And so we'll talk a little bit about what that value looks like and what it's like to be in the program. Our whole program focuses on giving you real-world experience so that you're not just learning how to write lines of code and build out a handful of features, but you're really learning how to apply that in the real world and be a competitive web developer candidate. So as we're teaching you throughout the program how to build out certain apps and ask the right types of questions and read documentation and really get into a problem-solving mindset, we're focused on really training you up and giving you that experience just like it will be in your first dev role after the program. So the way that we do that is through hands-on project-based learning. So throughout the program, you'll build out several apps. And you're going to start in week 1 building a database-powered quotes generator using features like modals to collect user input, store that in the database, generate it back out, and working off of wireframes through the whole development process to also make a nice user interface and user experience as well. So our curriculum includes Ruby on Rails and JavaScript. So students will learn 2 programming languages throughout the course. And we start with Ruby on Rails because it is a widely used programming language that is very versatile, and also it reads a bit more like English. So basically it gets our students coding the fastest and has a really fast learning curve. It also acts as a great springboard into JavaScript, which we teach later in the program. And you'll deep dive into JavaScript and build an app in pure JS. So what that means is you're graduating learning 2 languages, and you're also learning how to take your knowledge of one language and computer science fundamentals and look at a new language with a new syntax and start coding in that. And so that's a really important skill as well. And that in the combination with our really deep focus on computer science fundamentals is what sets our students up for success after the program. So it's not just about the features or the languages that you learn how to build in our course, but we're giving you those computer science fundamentals like a really deep focus on algorithms, data structures, object-oriented programming, test-driven development, wireframing, and more. And students are able to take that, and those things are versatile and transferable across the whole industry. So no matter what type of language you're coding in or project you're working on, these things are going to be applicable, and they're going to give you that foundation to keep learning and keep problem solving no matter what's thrown at you. So all of this comes together in the last 8 weeks of the course as our students code as a part of an agile team. So what we do during the agile team is you really take the exact workflow of a developer and you use the same tools and you build out a much more complex application. So we have our students build out a chess game. So an online chessboard that you can play. And the reason why we choose that is because building that out requires a lot of algorithms and logic. So it's something that as a hiring manager, when you start applying for jobs, they're actually going to be interested in viewing, and they're going to have questions about how you built out certain things. So for example, how you test, for checkmate, how you make sure it's a legal move. And these are all things that you're working with a group of Firehose students under a Firehose mentor to build out using the same exact workflow. So we'll talk a bit more about that, but I want to dive into support because that's a huge part of our program. So we have kind of a multi-tiered coordinated support system throughout the program. And so this comes into play in a number of different ways and times throughout the course. So how do you get support as a student? The first way, when you're coding in the lessons and you're stuck or you're not quite sure how something works, maybe you don't know how to interpret an error message, is to get a quick answer in the technical forum. So for those of you who have started our Bootcamp prep course, you'll notice there's a technical forum at the bottom of each lesson. And that's actually monitored by our Firehose engineers and ambassadors so that we can get you a really quick reply and you're not stuck spinning your wheels. So it's a great place to copy copy and paste in your code, link to your code, or include a screenshot so that we can take a look and really dive in and help you get sorted, so you're not, spinning your wheels or feeling like you're coding alone without any help. So I always equate the technical forum, to sort of raising your hand in class. And it's a way to get an answer kind of in the moment as you're looking as you're coding and need a little bit of help. So here's an example of what the technical forum looks like. You can also look through other questions. Students do often kind of run into the same issues, so you can go through and see if possibly your question's already been answered, or you can ask a question and get help from us. We also have a really broad and diverse Firehose community of peers, mentors, alumni, Firehose team. And so you're able to, in the full program, you'll be invited to our Slack channel, where we have, again, Firehose students, mentors, alumni, and the team all helping each other out, helping each other with their code, with their projects, talking about the job search. You can request a pair program with people, or just share your experience or say hello. So we have a really cool feature in our course where you can actually see who's coding on the same lessons as you and find them in Slack. And that way you can ask them a question, reach out, maybe ask to pair program through some challenges, and really support and learn from each other. And our Firehose community is diverse. We have students all over the United States as well as the world. And so each student brings a really unique perspective and background with both their professional and just their personal experiences. And it's a great network that you have both during the course and after. So you do have lifetime access to all of the current course curriculum as well as our community as well. So some other ways are, we also have a community forum where students will talk about projects, share their blog posts, talk about challenges they've come across, really anything that you may want to discuss in kind of a more forum setting. You can go to the community and share with others. We also host weekly office hours. And so these are hosted by Ken and Marco, our CTO and CEO, respectively. And it's a time where you can call in and basically just ask questions, hear other students' questions. It's set up as a kind of virtual video chat. And really you can ask anything, whether it's a challenge that you've run into, you're kind of confused by something, you want to know kind of what's up next, what to expect from team project, anything that you can think of, you can call in and just chat. We always record those and send them out to students as well. So you can always take a look at some of the questions that other students are asking. So there are Ken and Marco hosting, chatting with some people and helping them out. So the personal mentor is a huge part of our program, and it's something that really sets Firehose apart, just the quality of our mentors and the support that our students get through the mentors. So our mentors are, you'll work one-on-one with them. You'll be matched with a mentor at the beginning of the program and work with the same mentor throughout the whole course. And all of our mentors are very skilled programmers. They've been programming for years. Many of them work at various companies as like a dev team lead, and have been, on both sides of the interview, and can really provide both help with your coding as well as kind of the job search and industry insight as well. So during your, and if you want to check out some of our mentors, you can head over to our our mentor page, and just kind of read what some of our mentors are doing and get a good glimpse at what our mentors are like and some of their backgrounds. So during your mentor sessions, it's a really awesome opportunity to pair program with a senior developer. So as you're working on challenges, you can go through and screen share with them and have them kind of walk through, how they would approach it. You can walk through how you would approach it and get their feedback in real time. And it's a really good exercise to do. It's what developers do on the job quite often. So just to get into the habit of doing that and really leveraging their expertise and their ability to give you quick feedback as you're coding is a valuable experience. So you can also practice interviewing and really just kind of prepare for your career as you're accelerating your skills each week in those mentor sessions. lessons. And so both you and the mentors will kind of leave some notes after the mentor session each week. Just share how things are going and, you know, what you like, didn't like, and make sure that those are a really valuable experience for you each week. So as I mentioned, we have a global talent community. And so this is really helpful as students are going through the course, both to get support from their peers as well as after the course, where you can network with alumni and other students and mentors as well. So how does Firehose prepare you for the real world? We have a great course, and students, you know, go through our course and we get great feedback. But what is really important to most students is how they'll be able to translate that into real world experience and get the outcome that they're looking for. So as I mentioned earlier, collaborating on the team project is a huge part of what helps our students transition from kind of that student role of going through the lessons and just learning and consuming all the information to really being able to apply that knowledge on the job. So during the team project, you're going to be using all of the same tools, GitHub, Trello boards. You'll be meeting regularly with your team and communicating remotely with your team to go through that workflow. And so what you're essentially doing is taking a large project, this chess app, and you're breaking it into smaller tasks that you can divide up as a team, just like dev teams do in the real world, because all the best products are built by teams. And be responsible for certain portions of that, and then learn how to come back together and tie it all together. Merge your code, host it on GitHub and Heroku, and go through that entire development process end to end as a team. So we have students kind of looking for all different outcomes. I would say the majority of students that join us are looking for jobs as developers after the program. That being said, we do also have students that are looking to launch their own idea, start their own business. We have students that are looking to become an in-house developer for their existing company or build out a certain project for their existing company. And we also have students that are kind of more hobbyists, or a product developer, for example, that's looking to communicate better with their engineering team and cross-functionally. And so we've had students from kind of all different backgrounds and goals go through our course. But since the majority of students are looking for to change careers into a developer role, we focus a lot on that with our job preparation throughout the program. So we do have a specialized job prep track, and we built this out with a lot of feedback from recruiters and hiring managers, so that it's a very kind of insightful, action-packed set of lessons. So it's all very tangible lessons that you can work through. So here's an example of a couple of them. You can see on the left-hand side kind of how detailed we go through the whole process. So we start at the very beginning, which you can't see on this screen, but with setting up your kind of online profiles where recruiters are looking for candidates, how to network, how to leverage your network, and then how to get in the door. So we talk about your resume, phone screens. We break down the technical interview, and we're constantly giving you interview challenges to work on. We talk about kind of whiteboarding and questions that you may get, do's and don'ts, all the way through the process of accepting a job, salary negotiation, and your first days. So these lessons, again, you have lifetime access to all these current lessons, and they act as a great resource as you're going through the job search process, or even looking for your second job after graduation. So yeah, the lifetime access is really what helps our students build out their network and continue learning throughout the course. So is this enough? Will it really land our students a job? So our graduates have gone on to get developer roles at a number of really great organizations, including these. So we have graduates and mentors at these places, and a lot of that is because, again, of the focus on computer science fundamentals and the real world application. So we're not just teaching you how to build out a couple apps or features, we're teaching you how to think like a developer and problem solve like a developer. So if you'd like to read a bit more about our alumni and kind of their outcomes, you can go to our alumni page on our website, and you can look at kind of what our students were doing before and what they're doing now. I think that's really interesting because you'll see that our students have such a variety of backgrounds. And then most of these alumni outcomes on our page, you can also click through and see their reviews in places like Course Report and Quora. So we're very outcome focused and focused on setting you up for success as a developer. And we do that by really, again, teaching you how to think like a developer, ask questions, problem solve. We take a very teach you how to fish and kind of learning how to learn mentality. The best developers never stop learning. And so one way that we also do that is we have our advanced programming courses, which are I always kind of call it our Firehose graduate program. And so the advanced programming courses include curriculum in React, Angular, Node.js, SQL, and many more. And so as I mentioned earlier in the info session, we do currently have an offer where we have a limited number of space held for free in those advanced programming courses. And so for students that sign up within the next week, you'll also receive an advanced programming course curriculum for free. So there are different pieces of curriculum available. And so the best way to kind of determine which is the best for you and your coding goals is to set up a sales call and chat or shoot me an email. And we can kind of discuss your coding goals, what you're looking to get out of the program, as well as a number of different factors like the job market where you are, the types of jobs and work that you like, and determine which one of those advanced programming courses is best for you. So we have some that are great for people looking to design really cool user experiences. We have some that are kind of more for data science. So would love to chat and hear about your goals there and find kind of a package there that's best for you. So the next steps, if this is something that you'd like to explore more, is definitely sign up for the free Bootcamp prep course if you have not already. As I mentioned, it's a great way to kind of preview the program, start practicing your code, and get accepted into our full course. And then set up a call with me. Shoot me an email at brita@thefirehoseproject.com. And I would love to chat, again, hear about your coding goals, discuss our program a little bit more, and talk a little bit further about our free advanced course curriculum in React, Angular, or SQL, or Node.js, whichever is the best fit for you, and we can discuss that one-on-one. So thank you so much for joining today. It's been awesome chatting with everybody, and I would love to answer any other questions. You can always send us an email at questions@thefirehoseproject.com or directly to brita@thefirehoseproject.com. And I look forward to hearing with you and having you code with us.